just press the live button. Don't need to worry about anything else right now. Just go live, Hannah. Just go live, right? So welcome, guys. My name is Hannah from Reality Awareness. If you don't know me already, I was like, I just need to like check all these things before I go live. And I'm like, no, just go live and just talk, because you already know what you're going to talk about. I'm going to do a brief energy update to begin with, because I feel like there's a lot of people that have been, I've been feeling really good, but there's some people that I've noticed are like very, I guess in this like limbo space is how I could describe the energy of it. Like all these people that have said this to me, or they're in my Reality Awareness support group or something else, like I've just noticed it and I was tuning into it and I was like, what is that? Because I've been feeling really good. I've been feeling like, you know, in a different space, I guess. And so I realized what it is about the people who are not feeling so good. So I really want to speak to this because I feel it's important. And it is tying off on the energy update, like a kind of a follow on from the energy update I did a couple of weeks ago. And remember how I spoke about, it's like there's these two kind of like webs, and like you're here and we're stepping up to this web. Like, do you remember this web that we're stepping up to is how I was like describing it? And so this is like a follow on from that in a way. So I really want to speak to this simply because there is a lot of people that are feeling like lost, frazzled, limbo, and they're like seeing people like myself or whatever in a good space, and they're like, I'm not like that. What's going on with me? So I really want to talk to that. So, hey, Olivia. So as always, let me share this live stream. And in the meantime, please let me know how you guys are feeling. Like, are you feeling off? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling, what's going on, right? Because in the new moon ceremony that we did on Sunday, just gone, the new moon total eclipse, what was the other thing? Solstice, right? It was such a big, powerful ceremony. And I think for me, it felt even bigger simply because we usually do full moon ceremonies. So doing like the full moon ceremony, a new moon 2 weeks later, and then full moon again in another 2 weeks, was really extra huge. And in that new moon ceremony, it was really, really powerful and deep on the matriarchal healing and matriarchal energy. Really, really huge. Dark, light, all aspects in between, but big on the matriarchal healing. So if you guys have like had a pull or an inkling to matriarchal healing, or it's been in your awareness or you've been feeling into it, I highly recommend signing up for our full moon ceremony, which is in 2 weeks. But if you join now, you can still get access to the replay of that new moon ceremony, which was just, people were never saying it was so deep, you know. And so you know how I came out, right? I came out of the new moon ceremony, and I did that live stream, and I did the share of my most vulnerable share ever, like online, right? And some of you guys, like lots of you guys have actually messaged me and said so much, you know, like about, you know, wanting to, you know, like how, I don't know what the words are, how appreciative you were of me sharing so deep and so vulnerable and being so raw and authentic and all of that stuff. And I really, really appreciate you guys for, I guess messaging me. Like I wasn't expecting anything, but there was points in there and I was just like talking, and then I realized how deep it went. And I was like, wait a sec, hang on. Are you guys with me? Like, are you still with me? Like how deep this is actually going? And so, and a lot of you guys were like, yes, we're right there. And then some of you have even commented and gone, this is really deep. And I'm like, yeah. So you know how deep that public live stream was of my most vulnerable share? That was straight out of the new moon ceremony. So you can imagine how deep we actually went in there in the new moon ceremony, right? Because it came straight out and it was like that deep sort of thing. So if you're feeling called to do any sort of like, you know, matriarchal healing, like I highly recommend that. I am going to turn that audio, the full moon ceremony, the new moon ceremony into an audio, like into an MP3, because it was very, very powerful. And yeah, I'm excited about, the MP3 is coming out. But anyway, that'll come. So, all right, okay, let's turn the voice off. I will just share this as always because I've already started talking and I needed to share. I needed to share ages ago. All right, and so a couple of you guys have let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you are feeling because I do want to speak to the people who are not feeling good, but I also want to check in with those people who are feeling good and in alignment and on path. Like, I'd really like to know where you guys are at, yeah? So, hi people. All right, let me share this and I'll be so present and saying hi to all of you guys. Okay. Guys, it's been pretty big, huh? It's been really, really big with that ceremony and like this total solar eclipse, the new moon, the solstice. Like, oh, we're like in a brand new cycle. And if you're feeling like lost or confused or not sure which way to go or doubting yourself, like that's what I really want to speak to, because I've been seeing it and I was like, oh, why are people feeling like that? And I'm feeling really good. I was like, what's going on? And so I really want to share the intuition that came through about that and the fastest way to recalibrate into deep clarity for yourself. All right, so getting there with sharing this. Give me 2 moments as always. Thank you very much. Okay, share in a group. All right, and while I'm at it, guys, you probably know, but there's only 4 days left. There's only a few days left for Trust Intuition and the Inner Circle as well. So the Inner Circle is where you get access to everything. So of course you get your certification as an intuitive healer, obviously if you do the work, of course, and then also you get access to everything. So advanced certification, everything I create, you get access to all the moon ceremonies, and so much more, as well as working with me one-on-one for 12 months. That is deep in the like the closest you could get to me, basically. So that is the Inner Circle, the place to be. But these doors for the Inner Circle and Trust Intuition, they close on Sunday or Monday, in a couple of days time. Check the link, right? Which I'll pop the link in the comment thread now too. So if you've been thinking about it, I wouldn't think about it for too much longer, because when I reopen Trust Intuition, it's going to be more than double next round. So this would be the time to get into it. All right, so let me check these comments too. So hi Blossom and Lee and Melanie and Elle. Is it Elle? Yes, it is. Hi. All right, so, and Olivia and Debbie, so lovely to have you guys here. So Penny says, hi Hannah, I want to watch, but I'm at work. I'll be in and out a little. My intuition is on the move again. Okay, so we need to trust that, right? So Danny says, I'm feeling good and positive with the shift. There is always some discomfort, yes. But new future vision, yes, after the full moon made such a difference to this shift and eclipse. Yes, definitely. So Lena says, I've been feeling good, although sleeping a little more than normal. And I want to point out, so I know you're in Australia, Lena, and it's winter time. It's kind of the time to sleep more. Sometimes we can forget that and forget the cycles and the natural ebbs and flows and, being on that. And it's really important to, if you do feel like sleeping more when it is winter, to be okay with that. Sometimes I think we forget about that stuff, which is all in the ear chakras and connecting to the cycles. Yeah. So Christina, hi. And Danny says, I do feel deeply in flow though. Yes. Lena says, feeling like things are about to fly for me. Yes, that is that deep feeling. I so get that feeling. So hey Mel. Okay, so Donatella, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce your name from memory and last time. Okay, hi, with respect to 6 previous sessions, I have asked and never had a reading yet. Okay, I appreciate you sharing that, and sounds like you're a little bit frustrated about that as well. So yeah, it's a very intuitive thing about who I pick. And I'm sure that there's other people on here who've also never had a reading from me as well in the 4 years that I've been online doing it. So yeah, really appreciate you sharing that, but I can hear your frustration and anger somewhat in there. Feel it. Okay, so Mel says big shifts happening. Yes. Hey Yvonne. And Mel is cleansing. Yes. Penny says such a time of going within. Yes. It's amazingly transforming in the winter bubble. I know, especially down here in the southern cold. In the southern cold. Yes. All right. Awesome. So let me just speak to this energy update because I feel it's really important. And kind of, well, not the main reason I came on here. Okay, so I'm not doing readings just yet because I really want to speak to this energy update first. So as I'd said before, and the reason I am sharing this is, number one, like I said, because I had some people like message me, contact me, and there's other people in the private group, in my Reality Awareness support group, who've posted in there, which I haven't responded yet, but I'm going to, and I wanted to share this energy update because when I was tuning into it, this is what came through. And it's very much about, like I said at the start of this live stream, you know how a couple of weeks ago, it's like these two webs, right? And you're either here or you're here. And we're like in this like stepping up, yeah? So we're like in this process of stepping up, and in the process of leaving this web and stepping up to this one, it's like everything, you know, as we're slowly moving up, or maybe we're leaping forwards and bounds up there, right? It's like in that process, everything is like flicking off, dropping away, okay? Now, I feel like since the full, I keep saying full moon because I'm so used to doing full moon ceremonies, since the new moon and solstice the other day, in the total solar eclipse, I feel like that was such a portal. I'm covered in goosebumps as I say this, or truth bumps. That was such a portal that I'm still covered in goosebumps. This is a really important message. If you're wondering why you're feeling like shit, feeling lost, confused, not sure, whatever, okay, still today, the new moon ceremony was such a portal to step up here and be done with it. Like, that portal was like, okay, time to fully let go of all the crap and get on with it. Like, that's the sort of energy in a way, right? So if you didn't take the action that you already know, and this is what I posted earlier today, like came through when I woke up this morning, and this was to do for me, like that's why I posted it. It's not why I posted it, I was just like, okay, this is what's going on for me. Like if I post things, I'm like, this is what I'm processing in a way. I said, don't wait for signs or the universe to show you. You go first, and the universe moves everything to come with you, amplify what you've chosen, and bring more of it to you. And then I went on, I edited it, and I went on and said, the reality is that you already know the answer. You've already made your decision, right? That's the truth about it. You already know the truth. Like if you're moving, you're stepping up and you're moving from this web to this web, you already know, like you're already doing it, right? It says the reality is you already know the answer. You've already made your decision. So the faster you act on it, yeah, then that precious energy you are holding on to, so you're in this limbo bit here, by waiting, can be poured into the next powerful thing that you're being called to. And that is how you stay in superflow, manifest an amazing reality for yourself, and live the life of your dreams. Like, and this is the energy, like, and this is where people who are feeling good and they're like, oh my God, like things are going to explode for me. They're going to be amazing. They're going to be like all of this. They've landed here, right? And this is where I was tuning into it, you know, this morning or whenever. That's why, because these people are here already. Okay. So if you're still like, what's going on? What, you know, like you're here, you're like halfway or something, or maybe you're closer or something, right? But for whatever reason, you're still hanging on to the old. You haven't dropped off all the stuff yet. And maybe that's your perfect divine timing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe that's just where you're at, okay? But if you're feeling frustrated or upset or pissed off or whatever, or you're like, oh, well, I know, but now I'm doubting myself and maybe I shouldn't have done this. And, you know, and if you're in that space, like, what's the decision that you need to make? You know you need to make. Just do it and forget about all of this stuff and everything that led you here to this place to make you doubt yourself in a way. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're so close. Just make the decision. Forget about all the what ifs and buts and maybe I shouldn't have done that or this differently or blah, 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 blah. Like, just do the decision, because when you do step up here, like, and why I posted that this morning in relation for me. So obviously I've been on these road trips and stuff like that, and this might give you an example of exactly what I'm talking about to help you in your life to make the decision, right? Not make the decision, you've already made that, to act on it, okay? So as you know, I've been on all these road trips, and if you've followed me for a long time, you'll know my whole home story on the Sunshine Coast. I've been trying to move for 2 years, haven't been able to, whatever, just keep working, you know, and then the road trips happen in February and finding my home and ended up off grid and the whole story, right? You guys know it. And my lease on the Sunshine Coast is up in August, and I knew in myself, I'm like, I'm not signing another lease there. But I had just in the last week, I'd asked them if I could just extend for an extra month because, you know, where we're heading on our next destination and the next destination, I just was like, oh, I just want an extra month at home, not like a week, you know, when we arrive back home and have to pack up and whatever. And I was like, yeah, just an extra month, that'll be good, right? And so I emailed them and I was waiting to hear back from them, and because I hadn't heard back from them even straight away sort of thing, I was just like, oh, I don't know. And then I'm like, I just feel like I should get out of there, not have an extra month there. I'm like, technically there's like 10 days ultimately from our last destination to be able to go back home and pack up. Like 10 days is plenty to pack up my house. It's already half packed up in the shipping container, right? So it's like, you know, just finalizing all the stuff and getting the big stuff out and whatever. Where we're going next after that, I have no freaking idea, right? So I think there was a part of me wanting to hold on to just an extra month just so I could solidify into reality actually where we'd be moving to, or the next leg of our journey, or like, because at the moment, like now, there's nothing. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where we're living. I don't know where we're moving to. I don't know what state we're going to end up in, even though I know probably Queensland because I love the warmth. Like, I'm pretty clear about that bit. But the rest, I have no idea. And so I knew I was holding on to that because of that reason. And I just got some other errands I want to finish up on the coast and stuff and whatever. This morning I woke up and I was like, I don't want to stay an extra month in that house. Like, my tolerance level for the entire aspects of that house, maybe what it represents of my past, the people who own it, like all that stuff, I'm like, I don't want to go back and be in that environment. Like, if anything of these road trips has taught me, and being off grid and everything I've gone through, again, I don't need to tell you guys, you know what I've been through, right? Environment is everything. And my declaration to the universe is like, nah, I'm not re-signing an extra month. No. I mean, so I got up this morning and I emailed the agent and I said, you know what? Actually, I'm going to end the lease on the 14th and, you know, whatever. So I finalized it all this morning, and I was, you know, and this is like making all these decisions in bed, you know, before I got out. This is like my morning connection time. And so I made all those decisions, and, you know, like inside of me, I was like, oh, I felt free, right? I was like, oh my God, why did I even think of like, you know, and even just waiting for the answer back from them, like, yeah, you can have an extra month or not. I was like, oh, that energy, right? I was like, no, I'm already clear. I don't want to be in that house. Like, there's no way I'm going to like stay an extra month, like out of fear of like not knowing where we're going to be. I was like, no way. So, you know, like, and I guess that, like I said, I'm sharing that because if you are in this limbo thing, like for me, I was like, well, I already know I don't want to be in the house anymore. I already know I'm going to end the lease in a month. You know, and that's this reality up here. But I was still kind of hanging here because I was like, well, I don't really know where we're going, maybe an extra month. And like the reality is this road trip, and I mean, being in this Airbnb for the past like 6 weeks has shown me like, I could do this anywhere. You know what I mean? So if you are in that limbo and you know there's a decision you need to make though, like don't wait out for that anymore. You know, like, you already know what you need to do, and the faster you make that decision, the faster you're going to have more energy for the next thing that's trying to come in and the next thing that's trying to come in. Like, you know, and I always say to people, you know, about trusting intuition, like the faster you act on your intuition, the faster the next thing comes through. If you don't, right, so your intuition comes through, say, you know, crown and whatever, and you're like, you know, it's flowing through you. If you don't act on that, it like backs up and backs up and backs up, or, you know, all this next intuition that's trying to come through and the next intuition that's trying to come through and through, because we birth it into reality, take action on it, base chakra, will, action, moving forward, right? Where it's up here, and so it's backed up. And so when it's like backed up, like imagine how heavy that is, like, oh, like you wonder why people are depressed or shut down or like don't have any energy because they're trying to hold all this. They wait. It's like, oh my God, can you imagine holding that up for ages? That would be so tiring, right? When you act on your intuition, the next thing, the faster you act on it, that flow is what fuels you, and you stay in flow, let alone have energy, and all the magical things open up. Why? Because your intuition is the fastest way to stay on track in your life, right? You'll know that if you don't act on your intuition, opportunities pass you by. You're like, oh, I wish I'd done that, or maybe that happened. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay. So let me check these comments. So this is the energy update that I really wanted to share, because there's a lot of people, there's a big chunk of people I can see that are really struggling right now. And it's like, because you haven't made that decision, you know. And the thing is like, we can still have, you know, for example, my house example, right? Even though I've made the decision, that now puts me up here. But it's not physically happened yet, you know, several weeks ago, several weeks away before I actually can get there, pack up the house, blah, 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 right? But because I've already made the decision and, well, that's what's happening, I'm already here. Rather, if I'm here, I'm like, oh, maybe I should stay an extra month. Like, you're still here. Does that make sense? Even though the physical thing hasn't happened yet, you're already here. And so everything happens faster because you're in this higher vibration, because you've made the decision of everything that's been holding you back, all the weights, all the anchors, you know what I mean? And we don't want to take that old reality and old weights and anchors into our new reality. Like, this is the new moon. Like, we're on a new moon right now, guys, for goodness sake. Like, this is the energy building up to fulfilling your dreams, to moving forward. And the final eclipse coming up in 2 weeks, the lunar eclipse on the full moon. So, you know, this is a really potent time to be like, you know, and how many planets retrograde, like 6 planets or something, they're going backwards, you know, they appear to be going backwards, which is a good time for review in your life, you know, and allowing all of that stuff to fall away, like drop off the anchors, you know, like just let it go. And there's a piece here around, and I was actually sharing this with a client yesterday, and I feel like it's very similar for a lot of people. So it's almost like, you know, as we're stepping up, so this is the person here, it's almost like there's a spiral, like there's a spiral coming down, like, and it's almost like you could, it might feel like you're being pulled down. So in reconfiguring energetic codes, the down spiral, like the below space, is actually the subconscious, is actually the past, okay? So it can feel like you're spiraling down in your past and all the shit's going on, but actually what's happening is it's like spiraling down, and you know, if a spiral, like a galaxy arm, goes down and it flicks off, you know, like all the stars or whatever, you know, like what it would be. So it's flicking off, flicking off, flicking off, flicking off. You might have had people drop out of your field in the last week, people who, you know, you thought were like gonna be there for life or something, you know, like all these people just dropping away, dropping away, dropping away. And you're just like, hang on a sec, what just happened? Like, but this is this, yeah? So allow it to happen. And as I was sharing with my client yesterday, it feels like there's a, you know, it's almost like once that spirals off enough of what is right for you in your life, and you've made decisions, as soon as you make those decisions and actually let them go and let them go and let them go with any need to grieve or anything like that, it's like the spiral then like flicks, and it's like a spring, you know, like a spring, and it'll flick you back up, and it would be like flying up onto here sort of thing, right? That is a really strong sense of what's going on right now as an energy update. So if you're struggling or you're not sure how to let go or anything like that, send me a message. But it's really, really important to be able to like allow that to be dropping off right now. Yeah, so really, really powerful. All right, so some new people here. Hi. Nicole's here as well. Okay, so Lisa's been all over the place this week. Lots of old past stuff coming up. Yes, been feeling out of control and not sure of myself. Then moments of soul clarity, then I'm in the right place, although fleeting. Yes. And so Lee, with that, that's the spiral down, you know, like not feeling yourself. Like, and when you can think about spiraling down, it's dark and it's like, who am I? You know, and it's like all the past is like there, and you know, and so that, and then it will flick back up. And so the fleeting of your soul clarity, it feels like covered in goosebumps. Okay. Sorry, side note, interruption. Archangel Metatron has been bugging me for days to share the meditation again. So oh my goodness, what is it even called? The Sacred Geometrics meditation that flowed through me before I started these road trips back in February. Now, Archangel Metatron came through in, I think it was December 2019. and then also came through again in that February, and the sacred geometrics meditation. And I've been nervous to share this. Maybe that's why he's been bugging me, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to say that, but it makes total sense. But I'm like, well, I don't know, does it? So I'm going on pure intuition here. He keeps bugging me to say that the sacred geometrics meditation is a 5G protection meditation. Like, it protects your energy against 5G radiation. Like, and so what actually happens in that meditation, it's actually like activating a certain sacred geometrics, not sacred geometry, sacred geometrics. Archangel Metatron was really adamant about its sacred geometrics. That meditation actually activates you, so it protects your energy from 5G. Okay, so I'll share that on my page later. But he's tapping me on the shoulder again, because Lee, when you're saying that, you know, like, and moments of soul clarity, that I'm in the right place, although fleeting. So when you, like, you're spiraling down, right, and all these flicking off bits, you know, you can imagine what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, as something drops off, even though you're still spiraling down in a way, it's like, as something drops off, it's like you're free. You're like, oh, it's like you come up for a breath in a way, because that anchor has been released from your soul system energy, you know what I mean? And so, like, as that, like, you know, flicks off, that's the, like, you know, fleeting clarity, because it's like you lift up a bit, because the energy, like, you've got your energy back in a way, you're not carrying that anchor. So I don't know how Archangel Metatron just came into that then, but he's tapping me on the shoulder. I was going to say something and it was connected to that. Oh, I think the soul clarity, because the sacred geometrics, like, what's activated in that meditation is actually like the soul clarity. It's not soul clarity, it's something else. Like, it's the soul consciousness in a way. And when we really tap into the level and frequency of what soul consciousness is, that's a really super high frequency. Like, you know, and so, and then the other thing that he's just showing me, and I meant to say this before, I saw a post the other day in some spiritual group, and it was just random, and I was like, don't know how I feel about that. And I was flicking through the comments and was like tuning in. I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then someone had said something, and I was like, yeah, that's how I resonate with it. So what this person had posted in a group, they'd said, which is what I feel this is in a way. They said, it was a fear post, I guess, if you want to describe it like that. And they said something about the bad people of the world, or whoever it is right now, is destroying the bridge between the 3D and the 5D. So if you can imagine 3D, 4D, 5D, I don't know if that's how it is, but that's what, you know, I was seeing, right? And they said the bad people of the world are destroying the 4D bridge, the bridge between the worlds, so that people can't ascend. And I was like, I don't know about that. You know, like I said, and I was tuning in, saw the comments, and I was like, well, I don't know. And the thing that I was like, yeah, that possibly could be with the stuff that's going on in the world right now. Like, maybe that's a thing, right? And it made me, I guess, it made confirmation about that. But what someone's commenting, all the comments that I was scrolling through, and I was like just getting more of a vibe for it. Someone had said, yeah, but I can't remember the exact words, but it was something about the consciousness is the consciousness is the bridge, the consciousness is the way to 5D, the consciousness, you know, is that, you know, it's not like, oh, there's a tunnel and only people can get through it and that's it. It's like, and they're breaking that bridge so everyone's stuck here. It's like, no, the reality is that if somebody's consciousness awakens, we have access to every dimension there possibly is, you know what I mean? And so this is where my passion comes in, and awakening the consciousness of humanity. Like, this is my purpose on earth, right? To teach you guys, and for you guys to teach. So it's like ripple effect, because that's our savior. Like, our consciousness is our savior. Our consciousness is the way into the future. Our consciousness is what will save us, right? Our consciousness is what will save us. And so when we look at the sacred geometrics activation, it's like a 5G protection. It makes total sense because of what we're activating is a soul consciousness, and the sacred geometrics. It took me a while to like master that word. It's like this activation, it takes us into the portal of dimension of the next level, or whatever it is, right? So I know a few of you guys have got the Archangel Metatron meditation, but I'll share that later. So anyway, Lee, that's what came out from responding to your question or what you've been sharing in there. So I'll just keep checking these comments here. So Rita says lots of obstacles along the way. Yes, and that's just the, you know, if you look at it like that downward spiral in a way, that's the flicking off like obstacles. It's actually just coming up for clearing in a way. Hey, Christian. Nicole, goosebumps you too. Okay, that was a really strong message, right? Like, yes, it was really strong. So whatever I said back then, I remember having goosebumps. So Penny says, yes, like breaking fully open. Yes, heart opening, but first deep places had to go through 100%. And when we look at that, heart opening, the heart is the 5D. The heart is the 5G. Like, and this is the thing, like if we're activating this sacred genometrics, if we're activating this soul consciousness, that's here, that's the heart, right? Breaking open the heart, getting out of the head and actually coming into the heart and expanding the heart, like allowing the heart energy to be your frequency is what saves us. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's the 5D, like, you know, I don't know how to describe it. It's a feeling, right? How do we describe the heart? It's an experience. I know you guys know that, yeah? Lee had truth bumps as well. Awesome. Laurel says yes. Lena says yes. Almost like finishing energy. Yes, totally, says Danny. Yes, oh my, Yes, Penny says I love this. Lena says preach, environment is everything. Oh my God, I knew it was a thing, but now I've experienced it and now there's like a tolerance to like nothing less than that. I'm like, So yes, so Danny says, yay, great, you have put the boundary in with the house. I know, and this is the thing, it was like, well, I know the universe is going to provide something. I know something's going to unfold. I know it's all going to happen, right? But here I was hanging on to the old. I was like really not trusting the universe, but I was also saying to the universe, actually, universe, I still want that. I haven't actually fully let go in it's not just like, oh yeah, I trust like the universe. It's literally like me declaring to the universe that I'm still there. I'm still at that level, so to speak. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not. Like, hang on, where's your actions? And are they aligned with your true values? Well, no, so get up and send the email. So I did, right? On the new moon. All right, Kirsty says, I needed to hear this right now. Big things are unraveling at the moment and feeling so confused. Yes. Kirsty, I don't know if you're in the full moon ceremony, but I know you were. I don't know if you still are. Anyway, like I said, guys, like that new moon ceremony a couple of days ago, you can watch the replay. It is so deep. It is so powerful. And if you really want to, you know, clear this spiral off energy stuff, like everyone who was in that ceremony is feeling amazing, you know, like now, like because what we did in there, like next level. So if you sign up to the full moon ceremony, like I said, you can find the link on my website, realityawareness.com. Scroll down the page, it's down the bottom there in the event section. So with the you know, like full moon, you get access to the July, I think it's like July 5th or something. It's a total solar eclipse, a lunar eclipse. I don't know if it's a total lunar eclipse, but it's a lunar eclipse. It's the final of these 3 eclipses. And then you can also watch the replays of even the last lunar eclipse as well. So yes. So Penny says, oh my gosh, such adventure energy, something coming. Yes, this is like, you know, and the thing, and so just on another side note, and this is not out of fear, this is out of trusting your intuition to prepare you for you to take action on so that you're in the best place at the best time, at the right place, at the right time, all of that jazz. Right? So I went and had my eyebrows done today. Oh my God, I've been like waiting months for that. Oh my God, like because of everything shut down and then I could only book in like today. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the best thing ever. I'm like, I want these all the time, right? And my nails and everything, I'm like, okay, everything's all good. But the point I wanted to say that is that when I was talking to the woman in the beauty therapy, she was like, I didn't really say much, but she started talking about all the world stuff, right? And she said, do you really think there's another wave coming? And I was like, yeah, it's all planned. It's planned out. There's a wave coming. And she's like, yeah. She's like, so many people are in denial that another wave is coming. And I'm like, yep, it's going to be worse and it's going to be in a bigger lockdown. And I'm like, yep, you know, and she said she knew someone who works top hospital stuff and they're already preparing for it. And what was interesting to me is that the woman in the beauty therapy, they said September. Okay, now this is all word of mouth and blah, 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 blah. So tune into your own intuition. But if you're getting the feeling, intuition to move, to do, to prepare, to do whatever, yeah, I would just be taking it on board. Now, I thought it was going to be October, but you know, maybe that's why I'm now finishing my lease in August and not September. Who really knows, right? But I'm trusting my intuition about that. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that as well. Again, not on a fear, but if you're getting the intuition to do something, act something, be prepared, set up something, like don't waste any more time. Like literally, like you want to stay in this limbo bit, or like you want to move fast and fly in a way, right? So Blossom says, this makes so much sense. Thank you. Yes, you're very, very welcome. So Nicole says, I'm hearing you. Decision is made, but coming into physicality. Yes. So as soon as you make the decision, everything moves and you've got free energy, even though you still need to physically do things like pack up my house, for example. The decision's made. And so that feels like nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not hard work. It's not anything. It's just because the decision's made. But it would feel harder if I hadn't fully committed to the decision yet. Yeah. So yeah. So Christina says, I'm so ready for change. Yes. So Laurel says, you are speaking what I have been thinking these few days. Awesome. Yeah, I really felt I needed to talk about this energy update. So Danny says, you know where I am already energetically. I know, it's so amazing, right, Danny? Already made the decision. So hey, Penny. So Joy says, I've been more at peace with letting some people go, and it's allowing my true tribe to gravitate back to me, if that makes sense. Joy, exactly the same thing happened for me. Off grid, always people disappeared. Back in my flow, I'm like, oh, this is where I'm meant to be. And always people came back. And I'm like, well, this is never again. Never again will I do that. So Joy, I know exactly what you're talking about in a big way. Hey, Haley. So Danny says, Archangel Metatron is really strong with me, and I pulled a card with a message from him today, special trust and freedom. Yeah, Archangel Metatron's strong again, right? So like I said, I'll share that meditation, guys, and this is like, it's 5G protection. And like I said, I've been nervous to share that, but it interrupted me just before on this live stream. Is like, okay, you need to say it now, because for like the past 3-4 days, he's been like, you need to tell people this is 5G protection. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I've been listening to it here, and I'm in a 5G town, so I don't know. But I know a lot of you have them. So Angelica says, will this meditation be available for us? Would love to do it. Yeah. So Angelica, is that the Archangel Metatron meditation? Is that the one you mean? Or are you talking about the new moon ceremony one that I was mentioning? 222, of course it is. Hey, Nia. Regina. So Donatella, okay, everything happens for a reason. Even with the retrograde, I'm just going with the flow, and it hasn't been frustrating. Have been having good luck. Yes, this is the thing, right? And I think, you know, like maybe this is part of our shadow shifting or something. I don't know. Like as a collective, we're always like, you know, people are like, oh, he's bad, Mercury retrograde and messes up everything. Whereas like we're starting to shift our perspective of it. And so our reality shifts with that, and our experience shifts, right? Change your perspective and your reality changes, your experience changes with that, right? So a lot of people are like, okay, it's a time for a review. Okay, we're letting it go. Okay, we're doing this, right? And then, you know, I always have good luck in Mercury retrogrades or planet retrogrades. Like for me, they're the most empowering time of my life. That's when massive changes happen. That's when I fly. That's, you know, all of these, I look forward to them. I love them. But it's also a reality that I create. And it's also a reality that's my normal reality anyway. Just gets amplified during these times in a way, right? We get to create anything. And I almost posted earlier. So I went shopping in town today, and I knew what I was going to get, walked into the shop, and the lady who worked there and someone else that were talking, and of course you're just going to have like over here, right? And they were talking about all the world stuff and how this certain company of the brand of the clothes I was going to buy is actually like going in like backwards with all the COVID stuff and, you know, like closing down and like all these issues and everything. And I was like, oh, well, this is interesting that I'm hearing this. And I was like feeling into looking around the clothes, and they kept talking about it. And I'm like, I don't actually want to buy from this shop at all. At all. And when I walked out of there, right, because of the vibe and the energy of it, I'm like, I don't want to wear those clothes. Like I'm really particular of the energy in a shop, but also the people who are selling me the clothes in the shop or whatever it is that I'm doing. because that's what I'm wearing, right? But it's also the vibe that I'm buying into, yeah? And you know, what's interesting, I walked away and walked across the road and I was like, you know what? Like, I wanted to post it, almost post it on Facebook again, these dawning moments around, what was it? Your words are literally creating your reality. And I know it's like, well, we hear that all the time and everything. And I'm like, no, this is like a thing. I'm like, here they are talking about everything shutting down and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you just lost a few $100 sale, woman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd think if you were having conversation in your shop, you wouldn't be talking about that stuff when a new customer walks in. Like, I don't know about that. But anyway, it's kind of good because, you know, and this is like an energetic thing, right? So if you really think about the law of attraction, well, they just lost that. So their sales are going to go down. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is where the mindset and everything is like so pertinent right now. Like, when we're literally in this like high vibration energy field, like everything is amplified. So you want to be amplifying what you want, not what you don't want, right? I know I say it all the time, but it's just such a crucial element to everything at this time, right? Kirsty says, I was out cold through the ceremony. I'm not sure what happened. Yes, it was so deep. So please listen again. Please listen again and see if you can stay conscious of it this time. But I think there were some other people that actually passed out in certain bits too. Like, you know, and that's what happens when we come to, because it's so deep. Like, we need a soul conscious for that. Yeah. I was going to say your eyebrows look amazing. I know, like, I really love like the place there. I'm like, damn, I'm leaving this town. But it was good. So thanks, Lena. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Jason. Hey, Josephine. So Lena says, yes, me too. I never buy anything where the energy is dense. I know it's a thing, right? So Josephine says, yeah, I'm like that now. The vibe, it's all about the vibe. If I ain't feeling the vibe, I won't be eating, buying, or having anything to do with that vibe. Yes, it's like environment is everything, including, you know, like who you're spending time with, who you're spending time with online, who you know, like doesn't matter if you're online or in person or in a shop or, you know, it's the same thing. If I go into a food shop and I'm like, oh, I really want some of this food, I'm like, oh, that feels good. And I go in there and I speak to the person, I'm like, oh, you know what, it's actually, I'm just looking, thanks, you know, and I walk out because I'm like, I don't want to eat that energy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it makes such a difference, right? It's so, so huge. All right, cool. Energy update is done. It was really important for me to share that with you guys. Hey, Tess. All right, so now we're moving on to psychic readings, and I know a lot of you people were asking for reading before, but now is the time to let me know if you're wanting a psychic reading. Say, yes, please, Hannah, and I'll intuitively pick. So Josephine says, oh my God, the full moon ceremony knocked me out. Literally slept most of the day after. But it was powerful, right? So powerful. I got it. It was, yeah, it was big. It was big. Joy said, someone messaged me today and I was like, wow, bad negative energy, don't answer. I'm becoming more and more aware of energies. Yes, it's so interesting, right? Especially after this ceremony, I had several, messages too, and I was just like, whoa, like so interesting that's even happened. And I was like, oh, and it dawned on me, I was like, whoa, is that because of the ceremony yesterday? Like, it was a thing, you know? It was just like, wow, this is cleared out of my field. Like, these people have removed themselves from my life, and I'm like, well, that's, I didn't have to, you know, this is the energy shift. And when we shift, and this is what I was saying, you know, when we shift and make that decision, everything that is not aligned with that drops away and drops out of your field. Like, all you have to do is keep focus on where you're going. Like, it's a thing. So interesting, right? So interesting. All right, so let me have a scroll through here. Okay. Naya, I don't know if that's how I'm pronouncing your name correctly or not. Naya? N-E-H-A. I'm assuming so. I'm sorry if the pronunciation is incorrect. Okay. All right, this one just fell out on my lap. Oh, let me see if I can turn this around. Just thinking about it. Oh, yes. Okay, let me go back. Oh. Yes, I did it. Okay, awesome. Flipped it around. Okay, so this one fell on my lap now. Helpful person. So someone, Neha, okay, thank you. Okay, someone wants to help you. Think of whom that might be and initiate contact. So I know, I'm pretty sure that you have reached out for help, but I feel like there's more. So see how there's like 3 mermaids there? I feel like instead of just one person helping you, I feel like right now you need a team around you. Now, not necessarily a team in your business, maybe you do, but I feel this is more about, oh, I'm covered in goosebumps as I say this, this is more about being held by several people. So you know how when I talk about, and I'm like, okay, well, I've got this mentor and this mentor and this mentor, like there's kind of 3, now 4 mentors, and it's not like I'm working with all of them like every single day. Some of them I am, but there's like this team that when I need a specific skill out of any one of those, I book a session with them right away, right? So some of them I book programs and I work with them for a period of time. Some of them, you know, and then I'll go away and I'll do other things, and then I'm still booking occasional sessions. Like, so I feel like there's not just one person. I feel like now's the time to really like call on this like pool of support, so to speak, and really like have the skills. And I feel like there's another 2 people or 2 other things in your field or that's been on your mind for you to be able to you know, like work with and be able to draw in the strength of that for what you're going through. And what I'm seeing for you, Neha, is literally like, if you can imagine yourself on a spider web. So imagine this is a spider web, right? And it's literally like, so the circle's still here. These people will come in and like kind of hold this space for you, right? On your web, which is your life, representative of your life. And it's almost like these people will hold this space all around the circle, right? In the way that I just kind of suggested and said around, you know, how they support you, right? And what I feel for you is like, your web is like about to lift off to another level. And so but it's almost like, you know, if you can imagine a spider web hanging onto a tree and it's got like all the threads, right? And then it's like, you know, that's like lifting off to the next level. And it's kind of interesting, right? So you usually think it'd be like, okay, lifting off, and it's like ping, 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 like, you know, one at a time. But I feel like this kind of circle of support in a way for you is so that you can just do it all at once. And I'm not saying like, I'm covered in goosebumps. I'm not saying like, you know, you should do it all at once or you only need to do it one at a time. I'm just saying like, that's the feeling of it. Like it's kind of already happening. So you need the support to just not feel like you're out in the lurch or something. Like that's the kind of sense about it, right? I'm getting goosebumps. Okay, awesome. Covered in goosebumps as you said that too. The bottom card of the deck is Mother Healing, which is so interesting. I've been talking about the matriarchal healing from the new moon ceremony a couple of days ago. It's big in the ethers at the moment, and the Mother Healing is about receiving the support, but also like, you know, like lifting your web to the next level. Like it's like this circle of support is allowing yourself to receive, is allowing yourself to, you know, like have the capabilities to lift off like you could, but you're letting yourself be supported this time rather than trying to do it all on your own and navigate on your own, you know what I mean? And that is healing this, you know, letting yourself receive in that way. All right, covered in goosebumps. So really, really strong for you there. So Neha says, resonates so much. Thank you. You're so very welcome. Lena says, so freaky when that happens. Yes. All right, so I'm just going to scroll through and see who is next. Okay. You're so welcome. So welcome. All right, 2 cards. Who are these for? Okay, Christine, for some reason. Christine. Okay. So 2 cards. The Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Okay, Christine, stop putting off what you know you need to do. Really strong message. To do with your healing work, right? So I'm not really sure what you're doing right now in your business or whatever, but it feels like there is something that you keep putting off, but you know you need to do it. Like, and I don't know what that is, right? So interesting. The bottom card that just dropped out by itself just then. Take a break, get off the treadmill. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. And I feel like this is so interesting. I've never seen this before on this card. What just jumped out at me? It was like sliding out. This person here, she's like, oh, into the light, into the diamond water, right? So it looks like there. Oh, look, there's a new moon on there. New moon, new cycles, Christine. This get off the treadmill stuff, it feels like this is the thing that you think is where you're meant to be. Like, this is the normal work, so to speak. Oh, you just said something. What did you say? Okay, I want to step into my online business and I keep walking around it. Yeah, this is the treadmill. You're going around in circles. You're like everything else, right? This, stop putting it off, right? It's time. Now, manifesting magic is how to build your online business. I closed the doors and then I got the message to reopen it. So it is still open until the 31st of July. And manifesting magic is all the tech and all mindset that I have learned and built my business to date. Now it is $222. It will never be that price again when I close the doors, definitely on July 31st, and it will reopen at $997. And it is ridiculous for what you learn. And by the way, actually, when I first learned the online course of how it taught me how to do everything online, I think it was like $197 or something like that, or 3 payments of $197. It was ridiculously low, and now it's up to $997 as well. So I'm just saying, if you looked on my journey and like, but it's like that sense, like, you know what you have to do. So stop tiptoeing around, stop going around in circles, because that is that, yeah? Bottom card of the deck, break the chain, yeah, and ancestral patterns. It's not focusing, can't see it. So ancestral patterns, healing and rewriting the future. Akashic record meditation that I released. Rewrite your history, create your future. So work with the Akashic record meditation. I'm pretty sure you've got it, Christine, and help to release the ancestral, covered in goosebumps. Release the ancestral chains, ties, beliefs. Like, I feel like there's, okay, so you might want to do some past life work around, oh, I'm covered in goosebumps, around the chains. Like, I feel like you've got chains on your ankles in a way. It's like you've got chains on your ankles, and say like, this is like your life purpose online in the center, right, in a bubble. And it's like your work, as you said, walking around in circles or walking around it, but you're like, it's kind of like, you know how we see the horses, I can't remember what it's called, like, and they train them and they're like, they go around. You're going around, but you're chained on the outside. It's like you can't move into it any further. So I would work with the past life meditation, work with the Akashic record meditation, and do some inner work on releasing the energetic karmic chains. Maybe there's some other things in there. Maybe you want to work with the healing, persecution, and execution meditation from trust and intuition as well. So those 3 will help you to unlock that ancestral karmic treadmill round and circle bit. Because look, she's like, where are you? Look, she's like, yes, let me come. But it's almost like a chain. A chain is like holding you to the pillar in a way. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the sense about it. And that's all the ancestral stuff. It's really deep. I can feel, it's quite, yeah, I might want to do a clearing. You weren't in the full moon, new moon ceremony either. Okay, yeah. So you know what you have to do. Know what you have to do there. Okay, so Penelope says, I would really appreciate your insight into my child's powerful negativity towards me and what I'm missing. I am powerless to connect with him. He severs all attempts from us to connect. He is unwell. Any insights would be helpful. Can you please let me know how old he is, Penelope, and also how old you are? And when you say he is unwell, what do you mean by that? If you can give me that bit of information. Tess says these cards, I love these stunning cards. Yes, yes, that's the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Lee. That's so pretty. So much light. Hey, Donna. All right, I just need to buy a new laptop. Awesome. I want to learn from you. I love what you teach too. Yes, awesome. Yeah, so make that priority. Step at a time. This is the thing, right? Decision. Oh, I'm back to front on the camera now. Decision's up here. Make decision. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Fully commit to it. The process of the physical is the process of buying the laptop, in a sense. I know you probably know that. All right. Some Hannah magic, Christian. My next deck. Yes. Okay. So Kellyanne says, would love a spirit message, please. Yes. All right. All right. So can you guys, I'm going to start a new thread of, yes, please, Hannah, I would love a reading. Penny says, would a past life regression be good for me? Yeah, you can use that past life meditation. It's really, really powerful to unlock stuff. Like if you're stuck and you feel like you're on a treadmill or you can't move through blocks, like I work with the past life meditation with my clients and in my tribe as a way to unlock, because, you know, like we're sort of here on our current reality, right? We're however old we are. And then in the past, we've had our childhood and every relationship we've ever been through. And then we kind of hit this level and it's like our birth. And then deeper down in our subconscious, in our soul subconscious is past lives. Like it's a thing, right? And so if you're feeling stuck and maybe you've done a whole pile of work and everything like that, like that's going to, you know, like, and you're like, but it's still not working or blah, 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 then yes, I do recommend like diving into past lives. Now, in the past life meditation, you can purchase on my websites under the audio meditation. So go to realityawareness.com and scroll down and you'll see the audio meditation button on the heart. In there is a past life meditation. In there, when you purchase it, I think it's $15, I think, which is just should be more. But anyway, I'd rather people have it than say, I can't find it. And I'm like, no, that's just an excuse. So I've kind of kept them like that for a reason, because then there's no excuse, guys, right? Seriously, it's like, you know, anyway. So you get it. So the point is that in that past life meditation, there's like a 50-minute training video. I think it's 50 minutes or something like that. And I go into all about past lives, why we have them, how to recognize past lives in your current life. How do you know when it's a past life, you know, thing going on? How do you know, like, when you need to do a past life? How many times do we do the past life? What happens if it's too cathartic? What happens if, you know, it's so gory and I like feel sick? What happens if I come out of it and I'm still not well? Like, you know what I mean? Like all that information and the how to, it's like self-healing, guys. Like this is why I do this stuff, because I'm passionate about teaching you guys all the ins and outs about it so that you can self-heal rather than wait to book in with a healer or go and do this or go and do that. It's like, no, you can do it yourself, right? This is what I'm deeply passionate about. So yeah, that's on my website, so you can check that out. Okay. Okay, I just checking this. Yeah, the link should still work, Joy. So guys, if you want a private psychic reading, I haven't changed the link over yet because I've been doing stuff, right? So, and I won't be changing it for the next 48 hours. So even though the timer says that it's gone, you can technically still book a psychic reading. So get in there. And once I get settled, I will be opening up more time slots in my schedule. I know a few of you are like, there's no time slots next week. And I'm like, well, next week's out. Like I'm like literally 2 to 3 weeks ahead booked. Like this is how busy I'm getting, guys. So if you want to book in, but book in ASAP, because otherwise it does book out and gets further and further away. So this is just the reality of Hannah's reality awareness, getting busy. So it's a thing, right? I used to be able to do, yes, I can do tomorrow, or yes, I can do next week. But with how busy my business is growing, like this is a thing that I've also been journaling about for years, way back when I was like, I'm so busy, I'm booked out for months in advance, da 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 da. Like this is a reality I've created, and this is why I'm always harping on about, are you journaling? What's your mindset? What are you creating, right? Like on a day-to-day basis. Like I wasn't that busy back then, but I was journaling as if I was, and look where I am today, like getting booked out. So it's a thing, right? I just want to say that. And that's why I haven't changed the link over yet, because I haven't really got a team member to do that yet. So you can kind of still sneak in there. Just saying, it will be increasing to $197 soon. Probably on the weekend by the time I get to it. So just saying. All right. So, okay, cool. I see the list of yeses. I'm going to go through them in a second. Okay, cool. Penelope, thanks for that information. I'm going to, I feel it's important to speak to what you've shared about your son, but I'm just going to do a reading first for somebody because I asked for all these yeses and they're all lined up there. So let me just tune in for this. Allison says, I feel like I need to straighten my back all the time. Yeah, because when we're slouched over, nothing comes in and our whole energy field closes down. Like, it should be a conscious choice and conscious awareness. Like, I am open to receiving the abundance of the universe. Like, the universe is listening to not only your thoughts, but your energy, your body, how are you feeling, how are you sitting. Like, everyone should be sitting with their straight back. Like, you know, be really conscious of your spine. You know, are you slouched over? Is your heart closed? Like, because that's what happens when you slouch over. Open up, breathe deeper. Like, I am open and receptive to all the abundance of the universe. Like, you guys know the Louise Hay affirmations. Like, they are working. They work. They're a thing, right? All right. That's so fabulous. Everyone needs Hannah's magic. Yeah. Just started journaling. Yeah, it's a thing, guys. Like, my business is how you see it today, because in the start, when the first 18 months online, I was not really busy. Maybe I'd get a psychic reading booking here and there, but I was turning up and journaling every day. And I don't stop journaling. It's not like I stopped journaling today, because I see what it's created now, and now I'm creating my future still and always will be, you know? So it's a thing, guys. All right, so I'm tuning in to this pile of yes comments that we had here for who this card is. Okay, so the cards, this one and this one. All right, so Joy, this is for you. So this one came out first. Children, how interesting. I was just about to talk to Penelope's question about the children. So interesting, children, and then also friendship. And the bottom card is the guardian angel. Okay, so Joy, first of all, can you please let me know, do you have a child? Because actually what I'm picking up, that this is about your inner child. Okay, so see this angel and this little person, little girl, you know, is sad, what have you, and the angel is comforting her. Yeah, this here, this children, yes, it can mean, you know, child, you know, like a daughter or son or anything like that, or someone who was like a child to you. However, when I first saw this card, I'm getting the message about inner child for you. And with the friendship, I feel like, okay, so I'm not sure what happened to you when you were around 6 or 7 years old, even moving into 8, but I feel like you were like so alone, or just felt like everyone had abandoned you or something. And I'm wondering, like, I'm getting the message for you, Joy, about I'm not sure, like an aunt. Is it like an aunt or an auntie? Like, it's so weird. I can fully see this lady. She's got black curly hair. I'm like, am I looking at somebody? This woman is so strong. So I'm wondering if you've got an auntie who has passed over, or, okay, I'm struggling with not ever having a child, working on healing my childhood. Okay, got it. And I don't actually know what you look like, but so weird. I can see this woman and she's like, this is why I'm like, is it an auntie? Is she passed over? Or is it someone like an auntie? Is it someone that you like looked up to? She's kind of like got black curly sort of bob hair. That's really, really strong, the way that she's appearing. And I don't know if that's you, or whether it is, you know, someone who was like that, you know, as a, like when you were growing up, like, you know, and that's what you say, like struggling with not having children, and then also with abandonment, you know, okay. And so that's 6, 7, 8 years. It was like in that time, it was like you got really abandoned then. Like that's the core wounding of the abandonment, so to speak. And so I'd be working with inner child healing, which just like the past life meditation, you can get the inner child meditation on my website again, and they should be more expensive, but they're not. And in there's training videos, highly recommend working with that. So my mum had dark curly full hair growing up. She's still alive. Okay, cool. And this is like when I got the message about that 6 to 8 years of age, like that's when it became really strong seeing her. So that's showing me, I guess it's the mother wounding abandonment. Like that's Hafer was almost like you didn't exist anymore then or something, like, you know, and maybe she got busy or maybe she just needed a break or something. I don't know, like whatever happened to her. I'm not saying it's okay, but that's like what had happened. It's almost like she got to a point where she's like, okay, my job's done now. Like, and again, it's not conscious, like, okay, Joy, like I'm disowning you. Like that's not a conscious thing. It's like energetically, subconsciously, she was just like, I'm done. Like just maybe tired, exhausted or whatever, parenting. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Again, it's not a conscious, like, I'm ignoring you now, Joy. Like it's not a conscious thing, right? So it's not her fault. It's not okay, but it's a thing. What was I going to say that? Yeah, so working on the mother healing and abandonment wound through that. And it's so interesting. Oh, so that card came up for Neha earlier, the mother healing card. So I assume you're still online then, but yeah, we did speak to that a bit. So it's a bit of a threat on this one. It's the matriarchal healing going on at the moment, right? Since that new moon is like the energy shift from patriarchal and masculine to matriarchal. So interesting, right? It's really, really big. So yes, so that's what I would be working with for you there, Joy, and working with the grief around not having a child in this lifetime currently. And also, you know, but I feel like where a lot of the grief is actually coming from, like, and that's being reflected in not having a child right now. And it's almost like you feel abandoned by spirit or God or your life purpose, yourself, your soul, because, well, why haven't I got a child myself? Like, you know what I mean? And so it's like this abandonment that your inner child is feeling from that 6 to 8 year potent time of where it happened really like core, is being projected out into the universe, to other people. Why haven't I got a child? Blah, 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 blah. Right. If you work with healing the inner child healing, either you'll have a child or you'll come into peace and make friends with the fact that you don't, and friends with your current life purpose, if that makes sense. Yeah. And you're being fully supported in this right now. You was starting to become depressed in the beginning of the year. Yeah, so when we suppress grief, it depresses us. Yeah, we're suppressing our feelings, pressing down on our feelings, and everything gets pushed down. We get depressed, pressing down. Yeah, so let it flow and let that shift. All right, so as always, guys, I'm not going to be able to get to everyone on this live stream, but I just see Victoria, you just commented and said, lost my job today, will I find something? And what I want to share, so if you don't get a personal reading, like when the replay comes available, when they jump off live, like you can like tune into your question and you can, you know, like have my video in front of you, right? And you can tune into your question and literally like scroll the little tab. You know how we can fast forward the video along, you know, however long it's been. And you just scroll the little tab across and just like stop it wherever, you know, you intuitively feel to stop. When you're like tuning into your questions, scroll the little thing off and just press play. And whatever I'm speaking about at that moment will be a message for you in relation to what you're asking about, okay? If you don't believe me, try it. So just like with my Tuesday Tarot, like a lot of people are like, oh, it's, you know, all of that. So yeah. Yeah, Joy. So the inner child healing, it is in a course. It's literally a $15 meditation on my website that you can purchase. It's $15. It's nothing. Like I said, it should be more. It should be more. And maybe with all these changes going on, maybe everything's going to increase like that. I'm not sure yet, but I'm like, that stuff is like priceless. It saves you like years of therapy doing the stuff. All right. So I'm still going to do some more readings or another one. Oh, but I want to speak to Penelope's question. I felt like it was important, the child and the healing and stuff, about your son. And you'd said that, so you're 54, he's 17, and you said something. Okay, so I'm just, okay, he has OCD and high functioning ASD. Okay, so I'm curious if he's still in school or not. So Allison says, love inner child meditation, well worth it. Yeah, it's freaking life-changing, isn't it? So life-changing. So yeah, I'll pop the link in now if you like. It's very easy. I should probably post it more on my page and stuff, but I just don't. I just don't. All right, so I've just popped the link directly into your comment there, Joy, but I'll just pop it in the comments as well. But otherwise, you can find like meditations like that on my website, so realityawareness.com, and if you scroll down to audio meditations, and it'll take you into a page. Haven't put the Akashic Record one on there yet, but it's available. I don't think the Sacred Geometrics is there either. I need to list them on my website, but I'll post them on my Facebook page later today. So okay, so Penelope says, not at school, no desire to interact with the world. Okay, so the thing is with a 17-year-old, and I think on the live stream that I shared the other day, my really vulnerable share, you know, and I got a bit carried away because I'm really passionate about this, is that when a child hits 8 to 14, at 8 years old, you should be looking at your child like an adult, okay? Very angry and stuck, yeah, okay? So with what I'm about to say, this will probably give you a lot of insight why at 17 he's feeling very angry and stuck, okay? At 8 years of age, you should be looking and viewing your child and treating them like an adult, right? Now, a lot of people will just roll their eyes and go, no, Hannah, not like an adult, right? Now, some of you guys probably totally get what I'm saying here, right? But this is so important, okay? And with what I'm saying right now to Penelope and anyone else who's got an older child and they haven't done what I'm about to say, please don't think that I'm saying you're bad and you're wrong and you should have done this and this bad. Like, please know I'm not. I'm just giving you insight to why they would be like they are when they're older now and you're having trouble connecting with them, or they've got issues, or whatever the story is, because this is such a crucial piece to unraveling and unlocking, and how you can really help your older child or teenager who is struggling. Okay, so at 8 years old, we start hitting puberty. Now, when I say you need to treat them like a child, like an adult, I don't mean like literally like an adult, but you kind of really do need to stop viewing them as a child. And this is really like pertinent and prominent, you know, because, you know, like however we treat our child is kind of how we're going to get back the energy of it as well. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is that when we hit 8 to 14, that's when puberty starts at 8 years of age. Now, if we are not respected as an adult at that time, we're going to have a lot of trouble integrating our reality, right, as a child, because all of a sudden you grow boobs or whatever, like all the hormones start, and we're still getting treated like a child. Now, a lot of people in society will be like, yeah, Hannah, they're 8 years old, they're a child. Now, I want to point out that is a conditioned societal shutdown, keep you shut down, keep you trapped, keep you under control so that you go to school and you go to high school and then you go to university, and then we keep you in the system, and then you're going to like get a job and you're going to lock yourself down with a house, and then you're going to have family, and then you're going to pay all this retirement, and then you're going to like be like on this treadmill for the whole life, and then maybe for like 5 or 10 years, maybe then you can have fun. Okay, so this whole thing here is really like keeping society trapped. Now, when we, you know, people wonder, again, like I said, why there's like issues with our kids and everything in society, in the world, it's because we are not respected when we hit puberty. Now, back in the, I say eons ago, like before, sorry, I'm just bringing up the comments again because it disappeared off my screen. Before the societal structures of our world today came into place, so government, systems, the way our world is today, right? And we're starting to get a real reality check about that with the current world events. All of a sudden, we can't go out of our house. All of a sudden, there's all these other rules. And we realize how much we're really under control and under the thumb, in a way, right? It's really confronting for a lot of people because we're like, yeah, we're free and we can do all these things. And all of a sudden, we're like, hang on a sec, like what's happening in the world? Like, hang on, where's my freedom gone? And then we realize, and the truth of everything that's coming out is actually we're not really that free. And then it's like, well, we're feeling betrayed. We're trying to make sense of our reality of like, hang on a sec, we're so free, but actually look how controlled we've been for how long, and birth certificates and all this stuff. And it's like, people are like, what's going on here, right? back to when we hit 8 years of age, back before society was the way it was, right? Sorry, when it's first started, okay, and created our reality about how it is today. Before that, we were, like the priestesses, whatever, living in tribes, living in all of that. At 8 years of age, or when we hit puberty, like tribal people know, and tribes today still do this, right? A child is not an adult when they turn 18. A child becomes an adult when they hit puberty. As soon as a woman menstruates, as soon as a child menstruates, as soon as she's ready to be able to give birth to a baby, like as soon as she starts menstruating, she is respected as coming of age and becoming a woman, as becoming an adult. Now, boys are the same when they hit that puberty, right? And the tribes and all the people would take them out, they would take them out to, like the vision quests and go in the bush and go hunting with all the men, and become a man. At like 8, 9, 10, 14 tops. Our society does not have that honor of the transition. Current society today does not have that honor and transition of when a child hits puberty. We're told to shut it down. We're told it's not okay. We're made fun of. We feel embarrassed. Like things happen in our family, like all of that. And so it's like, we're shut down. And then, and then when we hit 14, it's even worse, because it's like we haven't been respected for the past like 4 to 5 years, 6 years, or whatever it is. Maths is not good on your calculator, right? From 8. And then we hit 14 and we're like, are you still treating me like a fucking child? Right? And people wonder why teenagers rebel and they don't have a connection to their parents and they go off to drugs because they're looking for a connection that respects them. Even though it doesn't respect them. But do you know what I'm trying to say? Right? And then we're like still told to like sit down and shut up and learn these things at school from 14 to 18, and people wonder why at 18 years old kids don't know what to do and they're walking around lost and like, I don't know, I'll just keep following the sheep and I'll go to university and do that. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying when there is stuff wrong with your child and your children and they're not wanting to sit down at a desk all day, like seriously, like the tribal kids, like at 8 years of age, they're out hunting. Like boys are out hunting and doing that stuff. Like they are designed for that. Yes, we live in a modern day society. Yes, we do all these things, but you have to respect your child with that awareness and raise them as such. Now, what I mean by that is that when you have this awareness, okay, you give them more freedom, you give them more responsibility, you give them more respect about who they really are when they start to hit puberty. Not at 14, not at 15, at 8 years of age when their hormones start to change. Now, my daughter's 11 and I'm treating her like she's 15. In a sense of the respect, the courteous, the freedom, the saying no to me, the not telling her what to do, like, hey, can you help me clean up or whatever? Like, no, I don't feel like that. I'm like, okay, no worries. It's okay, I'll do it, right? Now, most of the time she says, yeah, no worries, mum. Why? Because I've got that conscious respect of her. Like, I don't force her to do stuff. I'm treating her like I would a 15-year-old because at this age, it is technically where she is at, mature-wise, body-wise, really turning into. Like, we have to really grasp that concept. And if we understand our children's childhood developmental ages, so at 7 and then at 14 and 21 pivotal like waking up points of consciousness of becoming a person, becoming conscious of your reality as a child growing up, right? From 0 to 7, we kind of have no conscious concept of reality, right? We're just in this vibe, and then we kind of hit 7, 8 and like wake up, and like usually there's a lot of childhood trauma around 7 to 8 as well, because it's when we start to get depressed, so we like start to become aware of our reality and we're like, well, actually, like what is this place? Like, do you know what I mean? A lot of our spiritual gifts are shut down then because we're becoming more conscious of our 3D world that we're in. Yeah. So when we can allow ourselves to be able to honor our children with this much respect and that awareness, yeah, Hector, you said rite of passage was lost in current society. Yes, there's the rites of passage, that's the word for it, thank you. To considering dangerous and tribal, yes, right? But in reality, they disconnect us to our own power, exactly, right? And the other part about that is that when you actually, give your child and give your connection with them, that level of respect, even just knowing that and treating your child in your own home with that, they go into the world an empowered child rather than a shut down, disempowered child. You chop off the connection between you and your child, and that's when they go and they don't want to connect with you. Okay. Now, I just had to share all that. It's so friggin' important to this next piece that I'm going to share, Penelope. So Lena says, yes, so feeling this, we get to respect our children and their choices so they can learn to trust themselves. Yes, exactly, right? This is where, a lot of you guys in trust intuition, this is like the recovery from, not having, being told what to do and shut down our whole life. We're confused. We don't know how to trust ourselves because we're going to get in trouble or, all of that. Whereas if we can give our children the gift of that, then people are going to change the world in a way, like they are ultimately, right? So Melanie says, okay. All right. So Melanie Khan, I don't know if you're still online or not, but please rewatch the live stream that you can ask that question and then tune in to the live stream there. So Penelope, when you say that, so Josephine says, yes. So Penelope, having that awareness, okay, now you might be feeling bad or well, I didn't do that to my child. And a lot of people and parents do because they're they learn about this stuff and they're like, oh my God, what have I done to my child, right? However, I always say anything can be healed. Covered in goosebumps, truth bumps. Everything can be healed. Everything can be repaired, bonds can be repaired, and in essence, they're never really broken. Covered in goosebumps as I say that. So important. So Penelope says, beautifully clear, thank you. I wish you could go back in time. Okay, yes, exactly, right? Schools never treated him or others with respect. That's why we left. Wish I had homeschooled. Okay, and this is where I'm like, please no, I'm not making you feel bad, even though you're probably regret and remorse and feeling bad, right? Because you're like, oh, fuck, what did I do, right? And so when you say wish we could go back in time, yes, for your own, upbringing with your child, but also back in history's time, right? And this is where I'm passionate about bringing conscious awareness to shift humanity so we can return to that in our modern day society. We're never really going to go back to full tribe. People will love their phones and devices too much in this day and age. It's a thing, right? It trained us to be like this, and that's all good, right? But we can still bring that reality, we can merge the two and live happily ever after, so to speak, right? Because if we do this one at a time, we're going to shift society like that. So I've still got more to say, but I just want to, so Lee says, I got no help as a young girl. So I got distant from my mom, left home at 17 to get away. So much healing happening for me the last few years. Yeah, I was saying I left home at 18. So know that feeling, Lee. Okay, so just join, have everyone as well a reading. Yeah, so I'm just talking at the moment to Penelope's thing. It felt important to share, to speak to this for whatever reason today. So, okay, so as I said, bonds can always be repaired. Yeah. So Laurel says, I gave my son respect as he is very sensitive, but after some trauma and losses, he has shut down for the last 5 years. Okay. So those people begging me for cards, this is not going to happen. I'm sorry, but people who beg me and are please, and keep posting, when I'm not ready to read and I'm in the middle of sharing something, it just doesn't happen. Just putting a boundary up, just sharing. Okay, so the repair, the heal, the repair, that anything can be healed. I solely believe that 100%. The fastest way to build connection with your child again is special time. Yeah, is special time. Now, some people call this present time. I call it special time. And there's lots of articles and stuff on the Hand in Hand Parenting website on special time, lots of examples of special time, and probably also in the aware parenting community as well. So special time, if you want links to articles, just send me a message and I'll yeah, send you some links and whatever. So basically special time, and I'm going to speak about it for like a younger child, and then I'm going to kind of translate it how you would do it for a teenager. So special time is basically, you know, and you can do this for multiple children at one time. I would not have been able to build my business and be a single mom and do what I do without special time. It has been like the transformer of our reality, and it is also why Daya and I have such a strong bond and respect with each other and all of that, because of special time. So when I'm busy, when she's little, even now today, you know, it's kind of like, okay, like, can we do this? It's like, okay, let me finish this and we'll do special time. Now, special time is, they say ideal is 20 minutes, and basically set a timer on your phone for 20 minutes. Now, when she was younger, I would get her to press the button, and that 20 minutes is purely devoted to her, okay? So purely devoted to 20 minutes of dedicated, uninterrupted. I don't check my phone, I don't answer my phone, I don't check emails, I don't fold the washing, I'm not distracted doing other things. I'm 100% solely present with her. Now, I also do not suggest what we're going to do. Hey, let's watch a movie. Hey, let's do this activity. Hey, let's do this. Like, I am not suggesting anything, okay? I am like, hey, special time started. What are we doing? Yeah? And I wait for her to decide and to tell me what we're doing. Now, when she was younger, we'd like play trains, we'd play dolls, like whatever was the interest at the time is what we do. Today, mainly it's like, hey, let's play Minecraft or let's play Roblox together. And she really loves that, of course. So it's just whatever she wants to do. Now, it might not be something that I enjoy, but I'm fully dedicating that time to her, with her, and that's our connection time. Now, what that does to a child is allows them to feel loved, supported, nurtured in whatever activities, plus you're giving them your full undivided attention and energy and, you know, all of that. Now, by the way, little side note that even though special time might finish and you're busy doing other things in the house and whatever, the way to stay connected to your children when you're not doing special time, when you're busy or whatever, you can stay energetically and emotionally connected to your child by setting an intention and having that in your heart space, that your heart space is connecting to your children's heart. Yeah. So it's like you're pouring your love energetically. So you could be doing the dishes and, you know, you're present doing the dishes, but you're present sending that heart energy, or consciously like, okay, I now connect my heart energy to my child's energy. How's my child feeling? Like, you know, and really consciously connect your energy in that way, right? Helps you be present, but also helps to fill their emotional cup. Now, how we translate that to a teenager, obviously the special time probably gonna be a little bit different, okay? But the same concept applies, okay? We're not suggesting what to do. Now, for the first time in doing this, Lee says, should I have special time with my inner child to heal? Yes, 100%. If you never had this inner child healing, that's why, like, that meditation that I've got and all the training videos in there, like, please, if you haven't got that, please, please, please. So yes. So Christina says, it's so hard raising preteens with social media and keeping them off their phone. Okay, the thing is, don't keep them off their phone. Join them. Adaya and I communicate through text message so much, right? Like, you know, like sending the love hearts or sending, you know, like whatever. Like, that's how we communicate. People might think, well, that's not really good. And it's like, yeah, that's how I can stay connected to her, right? They're on their phone, so use that. Find the way in. Make fun, do connection time, like send the hearts, send the whatever, the fireworks, whatever. My phones is the fireworks and stuff, right? And you're building connection by doing that. You know what it's like to get a text message from someone. You know what it's like to get an email from someone. You know what it's like to get a letter in the mail. It's like, oh, feel loved. Use it. It's the way in, okay? And then you can go into their room and like, oh my God, did you see that like thing that I sent you? Connect. She's constantly sending me stuff from TikTok. I don't do TikTok, maybe I should, but you know, and it's a way to connect, right? And I'm sending her stuff on Instagram. Well, she's not on Instagram much anymore, but you know, and it's the way we connect, and then we go, you know, and then I go in and we talk about it. It's a way in. It's a doorway in. So important, so powerful, right? So don't keep them off the thing. And the thing is as well, like, and this is what I'm saying, you know, like, so for the first time for older kids, if you're going to start introducing special time, or maybe you want to explain what you're wanting to do. And the way you would do that is something like this. Now, even though you're a good parent and a good mum and all that jazz, okay, what you're going to say to them is you're going to say, hey, such and such, you know what, like, I've been really like working on some stuff, and I just feel like I want to be a better mum to you. And, you know, like, my heart's been a bit sad because, like, I see you always on your phone and I'm like, oh, where's my child? So I really want to be a better mum because maybe I've not been a really good mum to you, even though inside yourself you know you have, okay? And what you do is you say something along those lines, and you say, you know, like, I've learnt this new thing and it's called special time or present time or whatever you want to call it. And so for an older teenager, you might want to dedicate half an hour or an hour, a longer period of time. And they say 20 minutes every day is really powerful. So if you've got space to do that, you could. As older children, it might be enough for them once a week to have an hour or a half a day doing something together or something, right? Depending on the age of the child. So tune into what's right for you. But you would say something to them like, hey, I want to do this special time thing because I want to be a better mum. And so, like, can we start this special time? So what it is like, you know, and I'm just going to use the hour every couple of days or something. And for certain kids, especially if you've got a busy life and you've got several kids, like, maybe you can pick a dedicated day. So every Thursday at 4 p.m, it's you and me got an hour, like, you know, and then every Saturday we've got an hour each over the day or something. Like, you need to figure out what's good for your schedule, and maybe you can get your kids to help decide what's going to work for them as well, because this is part of special time of them choosing what they want to do, right? With you rather than you suggesting. But when you're explaining it for the very first time, you tell them how this is how it goes. So I'm not going to tell us what we're going to do. This is special time for mummy to get to know you better, because I just want to be a better mum to you, and I want you to decide for that 20 minutes, for that hour, you're the one telling me what we're going to do, whether we're doing your gaming or whether we're going to go shopping or we're going to go bake a cake together because that's what you really love doing. Like, you know what your kids love doing, right? But you're making sure that they're clear that you're not the one deciding what they're doing with you for special time. Okay, it's completely their decision, their choice. Now, again, you might not like the activity that you're doing, but it's like, get interested in it, okay? Because if you're interested in the games they're doing or what they're learning or their latest thing on TikTok, like, they feel loved because you're interested in their life. Like, do you know what I mean? And you're filling up their cup in that way. Like, it's such a potent, powerful tool. I can't stress it enough, right? So that's really important to do. And I feel like I'm like just getting these messages. I'm like, I'm going to do like a child series soon. I feel like with all this information, because I feel like I repeat this message so much. So this is interesting. So anyway, so this is the special time tool, okay? So once you've explained it to them, you know, and you've decided on a day, or maybe it is 20 minutes every day, maybe they need that, okay? And the other thing that's really potent and powerful is like, what's it called? The cuddle tank. The cuddle tank, okay? Now, as kids get older, they want less cuddles. Some do, right? Because they're hitting maturity and all that sort of stuff, right? So a cuddle tank is a way that you can make sure that their emotional needs are met via special time, but also through touch, okay? Now, some kids feel smothered by their parents because they were hugged too much, and then it turns them into avoidance people, and they're like, don't come near me. Or maybe they didn't get enough, and so that's all they're used to, and they feel empty all the time, okay? But you can also explain at the same time, and I'm also gonna bring in the cuddle tank. And you might have a joke about that, like the cuddle tank, like what the hell's the cuddle tank? Like, you know, like make it fun, make it light. Laugh about this stuff. Laughter is the fastest way to create connection. Why? Because laughter releases fear, okay? Laughter games and special time and crying, really important tools. Laughter creates connection, okay? So when, so the cuddle tank is like, okay, so you know how like sometimes mummy wants a cuddle and it feels like you don't, or maybe, you know, they've told you they don't, or maybe they're like, oh, okay, you know, like that sort of thing. I really want to respect when you actually feel like a cuddle or not. So we're going to do the cuddle tank. And when I ask you, you know, like, how's your cuddle tank? Or, you know, how's your mummy love tank? You know, so with the day there's two, the mummy love tank and the cuddle tank, which is kind of the same, right? But it's like, okay, is your cuddle tank full or empty? And they'll be like, oh, it's half full. Okay, let's have a little cuddle, little bit of time. Okay, cool, it's full now. Okay, so that way I know and can respect you with what you want with your cuddles. And sometimes, like, I'll say to Adara, I'm like, how's your cuddle tank? She's like, oh, it's full. And I'll be like, oh, we haven't had a cuddle for ages. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm empty, right? So it's really, really important to, you know, tune into that. And what it also does is it teaches your children their emotional reality and their energetic reality and what, like, they're needing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it gives them that emotional intelligence of their boundaries, of their energy. Are they feeling empty? Are they feeling full? Are they feeling overwhelmed? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a very, very powerful tool for more than just creating that connection with each other. So for whatever reason, I needed to share all of that. So Penelope, so when you say, okay, I'll change the way I connect, but his resistance is so solid, no desire to connect, any way I can get in on a psychic level. Okay, so next thing, the fastest way to shift a child who is stuck, angry, confused, doesn't want to freaking bar anything. Number one, you have to respect the fact that they're 17. There's a whole pile of hormones and a whole pile of, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Because for the whole time I've been told, and there's all this pressure, even societal pressure, consciously, collectively, that a person has when they're 17, 18, because we're like, okay, we're supposed to have our shit together. We're supposed to know what we're doing. But I've just like, what the frick's going on, right? So when you can even voice that to him, okay, when you can voice to him, I've just learned some information and I feel really sad in my heart and I'm really sorry, and I just want to share that, you know, like, I feel like I have not respected you, you know, like, even though in yourself, you know, you have, but for him to hear these words, I think would be very powerful to shift the energy dynamics. You can say, I imagine you'd be feeling a lot of pressure right now, you know, like, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. And I'm getting covered in goosebumps as I say these things, right? This is really important. So this is a way in, you know, like, I'm really sorry that you feel this way. Like, I feel like I've suppressed you. I feel like I haven't given you enough freedom. Like, you know, even if you have, like, this is kind of how he's feeling right now. Stuck, angry, go the fuck away. Like, you know, like, I've got so much pressure on me to stop even more, right? Like, go away. I don't want you to connect with me. But if you can start to open that door by apologizing for his whole life, like, you know what I mean? Like, just giving, and what you're doing is you're validating how he is feeling. Because he probably is feeling pressure and trying to figure out what he's doing. And then he's got all this hurt from school or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, validate how he's feeling. Okay, it's the fastest way to open the door to connection. Now, when you say on a psychic level, it's like, not really, okay? Like, yes and no, okay? You want to talk about how to get in is through, like, physical activity or art therapy activity. So I'd be doing, and it might be difficult because he's 17 and a male and might not want to do this stuff, but watercolor painting is the fastest way to shift emotions. Also working with clay, but do that with a trained kind of therapist. But even going to a beach or somewhere where there's sand or something, like sand therapy and that sort of thing, like the movement and the conscious, like, getting stuff out of the energetic field through sand or watercolor painting or clay or anything like that is like the door open, you know. But that he might not be open to that sort of thing until you started to create that connection and asking him, what do you want to do? Like, you know, I'm sorry, blah, 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 say all the stuff. And then kind of like put on, you know, like, give him all the validation and stuff, let that door start to naturally open, take the pressure, like, let him know that, you know, you're not putting that pressure, like, you're apologizing and I feel so sorry. And I've also got this tool where I want to do special time with you. Like, are you open to that? You know, after you've explained it all, right, in the letter, I'm going to validate in the letter. Awesome. Okay. And explain that I want to connect. I want to be a better mom. I feel like I've failed you and that breaks my heart and blah, 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 blah. Like I said, even though you know you haven't, but this is what he needs to hear to heal in a way. Do you know what I mean? So, and there's a part of you that probably does feel like that ultimately. So it's not like you're lying, like, that's deep core truth resonance, even from a collective, societal, tribal to modern day reality of all the past lives that you've both carried together. It's validating and shifting that on a very conscious level. Yeah. at 3:33. That's right. All right, guys. I feel like I've been on here for freaking ages. As always, I'm definitely going to create a parenting series coming up because I feel like I share this message all the time. So obviously need to put it into something to share with people, because this is honestly like our children are the ones that are going to change the world, and it's us consciously breaking all the stuff and working on our own like trauma and shifting all the generational crap out so that we can not pass it down to our children. But then this is also how we support our children in being able to change the world, right? And so they don't have to carry the trauma and, you know, all that sort of jazz. So yeah, I feel like I need to create that for sure at some point in time. So if you guys have just joined, I did an energy update at the start of this live stream. Then we spoke about we did some psychic readings, and then we also started speaking about children, how to connect with your teenager, how to emotionally reestablish that connection with your children, especially if they're older. Even it's awesome for younger children too, by the way, and being able to yeah, lots of different tools. Yes, definitely as well. You're so welcome, Alicia. Definitely some beautiful tools to be able to connect with your children, with your inner child, you know, and even hearing this information about how we connect with our children and a child. If we don't have a child, we might feel like Lee was saying, you know, like, well, I never had that, you know, like, so, you know, and this is where, and I'm covered in goosebumps, working with it's like the inner child healing is like one of the most powerful things on the planet, guys, like on my website, and I've put the link in the comments here, to work with your inner child and give yourself, your own inner child, what you never had. Okay. There was many times, especially that period from like 2.5 to 4 to 5 years of age. I remember it so clearly with Adea. Like I was doing aware parenting with her. But when we do this style of parenting with our own children, it brings up what we never had. And that's where our healing comes in, yeah? And we're giving ourselves what we never had, as well as obviously, because usually we're giving over and above to our children, so they never experience what we went through, right? But in that process, we're like, oh my God, how much did we not get, you know? And so this is where we come in and we shift the dynamics and we shift the planet, yeah? Yeah. You're so very welcome, guys. Your Adea is fortunate to have you as her mum. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you're so very welcome, guys. I know it's a long live stream. So awesome for hanging in there. It's always very beneficial, I know. And trust the intuition. So all the tools that I teach in Trust the Intuition is everything that I've learned over the years with spirituality, and a lot of the stuff we can use with your children as well. But it's also the tools that you can shift and move all your energy and crap so that we don't pass it on to our kids. Yeah. So Trust the Intuition, like I said, is all the tools I've ever learned. Plus you can be able to, like become a certified healer and be able to move into this work and do what I do, basically, whether it's online or in person. You will know if your soul is calling you to trust intuition. You will be able to help in some way, shape or form. You will feel that resonance as a healer, as an empath, as a sensitive soul, like it's just who you are. And with that awareness, basically you are able to transform your reality, help other people, become certified in the process, and be able to have that professionalism in your business, gain insurance, and do the whole thing properly, like as a full-time job, like you see me doing and living the dream, right? So it is a reality that I've created myself. You can create too. Trust the Intuition will be more than doubling next time I open the doors. So in, I think just a few days is when it shuts, and when I reopen it, it will be more than double. So if you are questioning, if you are on the fence about it, the link is in the comments there. I've pinned it to the top. You can send me a message if you've got any questions about it, and I shall see you guys soon. I see some people joining live. You can watch the replay. There's some psychic readings in there and some really important information on childhood healing, how to connect with your teenager, how to connect with your inner child, and really working through that. So Louise says, so beautiful to see that sparkling light is back in your eyes on recent live streams. Thank you so much, Louise. I really appreciate that reflection. Yeah, now it's back. I honestly didn't know that it was gone. And I was like, how did I not even know it was gone? Like, it's kind of weird, right? And now I've had that experience. I'm like, that will never disappear ever again. Like, it's a thing. I'm like, I needed to experience that to put my tolerance levels up on so many things, like that only a book can explain, and that's coming. Oh my goodness, it's so coming now. So yeah, I feel like I needed to go through everything I went through to like finish this process of healing to then be able to write my book. Like, I don't know, it's so interesting. So interesting. So I'm about to jump off, guys. If you think this live stream can help people, please share it. You can send it in a private message to them. You can share it on your page. Thank you for those who have already shared it. You can tag their name in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, as always, you can like and remember to subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you guys later. Mwah.